sewing friends. So today I want to talk a little bit about the it garment of the season, according to the Trendy Wall Street Journal. And their fashion WSJ Off Duty is the slip skirt. So this is a bias cut skirt with a narrow hem. Mine happens to have an elastic waist, which I'll show you on a couple of samples. And I sewed this in 1997 or 1998, somewhere around there. So this is made from a silk satin, so I used the crepe side on the outside and the satiny one on the inside, which I will come up and show you a little bit later, but you can see it's almost like a smooth, almost like a different color on the inside, lighter. So this is a beautiful skirt which fits really well, looks great with your oversized t-shirts, but it's a great transitional garment for summer to fall. Obviously I'm wearing a summer top right now, but I could easily take this into fall by wearing a slouchy sweater over this. You can wear these with sneakers like Converse. You can wear them with ballet flats if you want something a little bit more upscale. You absolutely can wear them with sandals, of course, as well. So it's a great transitional garment. So definitely consider making the slip skirt. I want to show you a couple of other versions of the same slip skirt that I sewed right around the same time. So I sewed one in this beautiful sort of abstract silk print. This was a fabric that my mother-in-law had in her stash that she bought in Hong Kong in the late 1970s. I sewed this in the 1990s, so you can see fabric from the 70s, pattern from the 1990s, and it's totally on trend. So, you've got a lot of options with the skirt. And you can see here, this is the elastic waist that you can see. I'll just come up here and show you. This is the elastic waist. I used bias facing on the inside, which is what this called for with the sewing pattern, my little label there. And it's just a nice, comfortable elastic waist. And of course, the bias has got a little bit of stretch to it, which is why these skirts still fit me, even though I'm 25 pounds heavier than I was in 25 years ago. I also made this brown one as well, and this is actually in a rayon, so it's a rayon jacquard. So rayons are also a really nice choice for this pattern as well. Now, this pattern is not available, but fortunately for you, there's lots of bias slip skirts out there from several designers, and I'm going to show you a couple, including current ones. Now, the one I chose is an elastic waist one, which I want to show you, so you know what you're looking for. This is from a line called Vogue Elements, and this is from, again, the 1990s. And as you can see, it has an elastic waist, it's bias cut, and comes in 2 lengths. So this is what you're looking for when you're looking for a bias cut skirt. And I'll post a couple of pattern options that you can find currently that you may want to consider for this particular pattern. But if you can't find it, no worries. Let's say you have in your stash a pattern that maybe looks a little similar to this right here, and you can see on the back that these don't have elastic waists. Well, what do? I'm going to tell you how to do that. So basically, when you're making a skirt of any kind and you want it to be elastic waist or pants or anything, you want the fit at the hips to come straight up here. So a normal skirt with a zipper would taper to your waist and have a zipper on the side, so you'd zip it up and it would be form-fitting across here. An elastic waist one is not going to do that. It's basically going to be the width of the hips all the way straight up to here, and then the elastic is what hugs it to your body. So if you have one of those, or you're going to be using a brand new pattern that you bought that has a zipper and a traditional waistband, you can just forego all of that business, and when you're cutting out your pattern, simply draw right on your tracing paper a line straight up from the hips. You can use your straight ruler like this, so you're basically going to lay it on the hip side of the pattern and you're going to draw it straight up. And that line that you're going to make that straight up, you can just make it a little taller to make an elastic casing to fold over. Now, in this case, this pattern on both of these, and I'll show you that, it called for double fold bias tape on the inside, which is a fabulous interfacing for elastics. So this is another great way of just taking that regular top of the skirt and just making a bias by using just double fold bias tape. Just unfold it, and then you sew it on, and then you fold it under and stitch it down, and that becomes your casing. So that's a really great way to utilize bias cut facings. You probably have a lot of bias tape in your stash. I know I do. I've got bias tape like coming out my ears. For whatever reason, people just give it to me, right? Here's some notions, and look, there's all this bias tape. So that's a really fabulous way of using up some of that bias tape on a skirt that's super simple to make and super trendy. So how am I going to style these for fall? Well, obviously it's still warm out, so I'm going to style it with this oversized t-shirt like I have right here. I've got a couple of woven t-shirt versions that would be perfect for this, but I'm also going to go ahead and think about styling it for later in the fall with, and I'll put a couple patterns up here so you can see it. I would definitely go with the toaster version 2 with the wide funnel neck and the long sleeves and the shirt tail hem because it's a little wider and kind of flowy. It looks really nice with a nice skirt that comes down like this. Hi, buddy. Yeah, did you get some good things to play with? All right. So it's definitely going to be a great transitional piece for fall. Now, in the deeper fall, you might want to wear this with a pair of, small ankle booties, which is almost precisely what they were showing in the 1990s version, although we wore those square toe, chunky heel booties back then. I had a pair of things almost exactly like that in like a burgundy color, fabulous with these skirts back then. But these skirts really can't stand the test of time, and there's absolutely no reason at all. This is a very simple beginner level project, and I'm all about easy to sew here at Sew Paradise. So this is definitely a beginner level skirt. I will give you some basic instructions on how to convert a zippered skirt to an elastic waist skirt because it's super simple, and then how to use that bias tape on the inside. This skirt particular pattern, happen to have it. I'm going to be going into my pattern stash and using that old pattern that I have. Probably going to have to retrace a new one and maybe draw some lines that are a little wider if I've already cut it out. I don't remember. Back then I used to just cut all the patterns out. I didn't trace anything. I just cut them out, whatever. But now, of course, we would trace them off. So this gives me a lot of really fun options. I would also wear this with an oversized, like the cable sweater that I showed you, maybe like a cable turtleneck sweater, something that's maybe a little looser and a little bit oversized looks great because these skirts tend to run lean. They kind of, gracefully skim your hips, and then they come down and do this nice little flare at the bottom. So according on good sources, the slip skirt is the skirt of the season, and you can easily make your own as a really nice transitional garment for fall. Again, these will stand the test of time. I have kept these in my closet for all of these years. I've worn them off and on, but now that the bias slip skirt is back in fashion, I'm all there. It's time for me to go play with my dog.